All right, good afternoon and good evening. We want to thank everyone for coming and spending your time with us today to find out more about the Bmore You Project and Excellence and Ambition, what we have going on for fiscal year 2025. I appreciate your time. I appreciate your energy. I want to thank our staff, our participants, any of our supporters or partners who may be on our grand tours that are here today. We want to thank you so much for taking the time out of your evening to spend with us today. So, I'm Danelle Pender, founder of Excellence and Ambition. And at Excellence and Ambition, we envision a world where young people are empowered, holistically well, and positively impacting future generations. Our mission is to facilitate programs and workshops designed to support our participants' children's career goals, whatever they want to do. We focus on entrepreneurship, workforce development, and the arts. So E&A was founded in my home in 2012. I created opportunities for my own daughters and their friends, our cousins, and anybody else in the community who wanted to learn how to start a business. I have a background in youth development. I've been working in youth development since I was 18 years old. And so working in the sweet spot of middle and high school youth, I knew what to do. And so I created a curriculum around what we had started in my home. And we have grown into an after-school program with summer programs as well. We do performing arts and cultural events in partnership with Be More Than Dance. We have workforce development workshops, and we hire 30-plus year youth year-round at 2 location sites in Park Heights and in Forest Park. I want to thank MOAIM, the Mayor's Office of African American Male Engagement, for hosting us this year. And I want to also thank Ms. Trueheart over at Liberty Rec and Tech Center for all of her support, over the years. My desire has grown to teach young people all over the world to become financially self-sufficient, especially those growing up in economically impoverished communities. So what's the challenge? The unemployment rate is a challenge. We know that in Park Heights, 400 youth between the ages of 15 to 24 can't find work. They're competing with adults for gig work and entry-level positions. And so our alumni, those who come to us, they're trained and they're ready to work, but they can't find jobs. And so Excellence and Ambition, we end up keeping them on and hiring them through our Youth Build Community program. But we can only really afford to hire and bring on 30 to 50 participants at a time. And as you can see, the need is great. So we have to do what we need to do to fulfill the need. But funding shortages keep us from expanding to train and hire more youth. And so our goal is to expand into an online option, as well as to have spaces where young people can work year round. So as I mentioned, our core after school and out of school time programs are the Youth Entrepreneurship Program, where we teach a winning mindset, how to write a business plan, manufacturing, how to work your services, whatever it is that they want to do. They come to us with their idea and we just help them bring it to fruition. We also keep them on for about 2 years, some of them longer, to support their dreams and visions. At the end of the initial workshop, we have a pitch contest where they can earn up to $500 towards incorporating their business. The Youth Build Community Program, as I mentioned earlier, has morphed into our workforce development program. This program was actually launched and started by our youth in 2018, summer of 2018, where they wanted to learn how to build and how to create. And so it has morphed and became our youth development, workforce development program, where they learn financial literacy, resume writing, networking, interviewing, professionalism, customer service. And we are right now working to build out our podcast. And so we want to feature them teaching other young people the skills that they have learned. Every young person in our program goes through this curriculum. You are here to learn about the Bmore You Retail Project. And this is where our young people, regardless if they are in YEP or YBC, they get hands-on experience working in a retail type space. So far, we've been doing pop-ups using our tent and our table and our vending events that we get invited to so that they can learn how to take inventory, they can practice their customer service skills, and they can also practice their point of sale transactions. Alumni from our program will be qualified to work in retail, commercial retail spaces, but then also they'll have the confidence to work in outward facing corporate career opportunities, whatever that might be, wherever it might lead them. We have some success stories to share. So Lynn's Lashes, my Lynn, came to us at the age of 14 years old. She wanted to just create mink lashes. And she did that. She became a master at mink eyelashes. We were able to send her to New York Fashion Week, where she was able to be behind the scenes as a makeup artist. And now, fast forward 6 years, she's the proud owner, continue to be the proud owner of Lynn's Lashes. And she's located in East Baltimore. She has a storefront where she, of course, does makeup, lashes, eyebrows, all the good stuff. And she's very well known in the community for doing that work. We have Chef Nell. He came to us during the pandemic. He was homeless at the time at the age of 19. And we were also just trying to figure out our way like everybody else during COVID. Nell stepped up and helped us feed the community every day. We had a meal for the young people as they could not go to school, and some of them didn't have food at home. It was Nell who said, Miss Pender, I just want to cook. I want to help. And so he cut his chops at Sister Saving the City in the kitchen over there at Holy Nativity on Pimlico Road. And we lost touch with him for a little bit in 2023. And then I ran into him again, and guess what he was doing? He was working with Dwayne Denbo, Funnel Cake King. He's doing what he wanted to do. He's living his dream as a caterer. He's living his dream as a chef. And so we absolutely appreciate Nell. If you see him out and about, make sure you let him know that we love him, we support him. He is an ENA alumni. Um, Matthew Compton is another one of our alumni. He's a success story because he's helping us out. He is a manager at the Burger King over on Cold Spring and Ricerstown Road. And he is actually helping us for young people who want to get a fast food experience to be able to work in that environment. So we appreciate Matt and all that he's been doing as an alumni, but also how he's supporting and helping us now with the young people that we have on our team. So you're here to learn about our expansion projects. And so I want to make sure that I respect your time because this is where you'll probably have the most questions. when we get to the Q&A period at the end. So our expansion projects, we are launching our online course for both YBC and YEP in the fiscal year 2025. But we're starting in January with our YBC curriculum. You can actually go onto our website now and help to beta test. We're literally putting things in and testing things out, so you can kind of see it as it's being developed. I want to thank our lawyer, Crystal Myers, for helping us with our trademarks and our copyright that's coming, and all those things will be set before the launch. But either way, our YBC curriculum that I talked about earlier is now getting transformed into our online course. So we'll be able to do both in-person and online classes and sessions and workshops. They are facilitated by our young people that are in our program and our program alumni. And these are all, as you saw, transferable skills that young people just need to be successful regardless of what career path they choose to take. We want to make this accessible to all students, all young people, anywhere. If they have access to Wi-Fi, then they can access it. And this will create a consistent revenue stream for Excellence and Ambition. As you know, we're a nonprofit organization, and we need support not only from donors and grants, but also we have to create revenue streams. You're here to learn about the Bmore You Project, and I know that's why you're here. You're excited about it. The Bmore You Retail Project, as I mentioned, we have been at the startup level with Bmore You. It's been pop-ups, it's been vending opportunities for the young people to get those experiences. But what we want to do, the larger vision, is to expand our organizational capacity. And the only way to do that is to have multiple locations where young people can come after school and weekends and work, but then also have entertainment and artistic expression wherever they can go and be and have safe spaces. And so we want to merge both of those goals into the Bmore You project. We want to we will successfully open 26 locations of the Bmore You retail in Park Heights, Northwest Baltimore. Those locations include a movie theater, dance studio, multimedia studio, 2 ice cream shops, 2 babysitters hubs, 10 corner stores, and 14 retail stores that can also double as spaces for small business pop-ups, events, and workshops and seminars and all that good stuff. And of course, some of these can be put together where it might be the retail store at the lower level, but the hall on the second level and the media studio on the third level. However, it works out. But the bigger vision is to create these opportunities, create these spaces where young people can work so they're not competing with adults, and that they can actually be themselves as they develop into the wonderful young adults that they are going to be. Our annual operating budget, as you can see, we have grown exponentially year over year, doubling our revenue since 2021, which is it was really hard to do during the pandemic. I can tell you guys, we were not able to host events. We were not able to do fundraising like we did prior to the pandemic. And so most of this funding, 95% of this funding comes from grant revenue and grant funding. We have multiple grantors, and I'm very happy about that. I'm very proud about that. I'm glad for the support, but it's time for us to expand to get more individual donors and people who are willing to support us in everything that we are trying to do. Our current budget for this fiscal year is $400,000, and it is our budget for next year as well. But as you'll see in the next slide, we're going to expand that budget for 2026 and beyond. Our current operating budget is about $100,000 in expenses. We have our YBC and YEP programs. The after school at general operating right now is at $250,000. And because we are establishing our online course, Uh, but that is right now budgeted at 50,000. Because again, we don't have facilities. We are looking for facilities, but the online course is up and running real soon. Ways to support excellence and ambition. Today, the ask, I'm inviting you to become an individual or corporate sponsor for the after school and summer programs. Being a grant funded organization, most of the grants that we receive are reimbursable only, meaning that we have to raise the money on the front end, spend the money, and then submit the receipts for the grant to reimburse us. And so we keep running into the issue of not having the funding or needing to leverage the grant funding source in other ways like loans to be able to make it happen. And so if we had appropriate levels of individual or corporate sponsorship, we would not have to continue to be in that cycle. Um, of course, donation of commercial buildings, gifting to us, or providing in-kind usage of retail space, specifically for the Bmore You Project or for the pop-up shops, would be very helpful as we are growing our network and growing the project and trying to get the eyes on what we're doing and the support for what we're doing. That will be great as we're in this development phase. Mentor by becoming a quarterly guest speaker. I want to shout out Sharif Small, shout out to Mike Foy, um, shout out to DJ Twiz. There's so many people that, again, Dwayne, who show up when I call, right? That are willing to come in and be a guest speaker. Crystal Myers, Esquire, our lawyer. Thank you for coming and supporting our young people. Nicole Earl, Dominion, thank you so much for coming and being a support and a guest speaker for our young people. It's so many people over the years, but this year in particular, so many people have shown up for us and our young people, not just to be speakers, but to be inspiration and to keep in touch with us after they've been there and met our young people. And so I want to just shout you guys out. Also, Kaylin Martin as well. Thank you so much. Um, we want you to become an employer of our program alumni. As I said, they have a hard way to go sometimes. And even when they turn 18, 19, 20, 21, they've just not been given the opportunities that other people are being given they're ready to be interviewed. They're ready to be hired. So if you're hiring, seek us out, but also for those who don't mind hiring a teenager to work on the evenings and weekends. They do need training, of course, but they're great young people and they're willing to learn. We ask that you could serve on the board, the advisory board of the Board for Excellence and Ambition, right? But also the advisory board for Depender Enterprises as we pursue the Bmore You Retail as a franchise model. When I talked earlier about having those 26 locations and what that will look like, it just makes sense for it to be a franchise model. And I think of a franchise, I automatically think of McDonald's and how no matter what McDonald's you go in all over the world, they all kind of look the same. They all kind of branded the same. They all have the same feel. Sometimes the menu may be a little different, right? But you know what you're going to get, the quality that you're going to get. The expectation, seeing that brand, right? And so we want that to be what you see when you go into a space that is a Bmore You pop-up shop or Bmore You retail store or Bmore You ice cream shop or whatever it's going to be, right? And so want to look at that from a franchise model, and I really think we should do that in a for-profit model, because as I mentioned with Burger King, they own those corners, like the land, the building belongs to them, right? And so it's the real estate development part that we absolutely need support with, because again, I run nonprofits. I run youth-based programs. I'm not a developer. I'm not a real estate. I've been learning. I've been trying to read up on things and learn. I've taken a class or two, but it would be great to have people on our team who know this stuff and is willing to work with us yeah, and give and invest in whatever. So those things. Financial donations for the nonprofit side and gifts are always welcome. The next slide, we're going to go through what those gifts could look like. Um, we have scheduled donations that can be made, one-time gifts or monthly giving. When I get to the next slide, you'll see the levels for monthly giving or the one-time gifts or monthly giving and what you would benefit from for being a donor at those levels. We accept unrestricted or restricted grants and sponsorships. Cash is always welcome. Um, we do checks and they're made payable to Excellence and Ambition Inc. If you have a credit card or like to pay with a credit card, we ask you to use PayPal or visit our website, www.ambitiousyouth.org. And you could also Cash App us. Um, we have not received, but we can receive planned gifts like bequests or charitable gift annuities. And we are also open to donor advised funds. As I mentioned, the donor benefits and stewardship structure. So to become a supporter of our program, it will be $1,000. The bronze level is at 5,000. Silver is 15, gold is 25,000, and platinum is 50,000. $50,000 donors or sponsors are those who we consider hiring partners. Those are the ones who you're literally hiring 3 young people a year, but through excellence and ambition to do the training and making sure that they are doing what it is that they need to do to become great. So we know that there's some people out here, some corporations out here, they have the funding, but and they have a desire to help youth in Baltimore City, but they don't know how. This is a great way to do so. As you can see, the donor benefits are there. Not all the donor benefits are listed here, of course, but these are the general donor benefits that you would receive by helping us out. Our 3-year fundraising goal is $2,550,000. As you can see, we have the general annual fundraising goal of 400,000, as I mentioned earlier. But you look and you can see the expansion projects are going to take funding to make happen. And yeah, that's just is the reality. And so this is why we are pitching to you. This is why we're asking for your support. This is why we're asking for you to share what we're doing within your networks. And we want to make sure that we are at least opening 3 locations a year to support our young people. These are our current funders and donors. As you can see, we are a grantee of Family League, a grantee of Parkhurst Renaissance, the Baltimore Children and Youth Fund. We're also a new grantee of Department of Planning, the Mayor's Office. And also with ARPA, we got some ARPA funding. We got grants coming from everywhere, child. And I'm always grant writing. I'm always trying to find grants, but with grants come reporting, which is not a problem for us because we have the data. It's just, it can take away from the overall vision, mission, and goal when you have to focus so much on that grant work. And so I'm so thankful for Security, for Sankofa, for D Foster Marketing, for everybody who gives, out of their abundance to our organization. We genuinely appreciate their monthly giving and their annual giving that has helped us sustain. And so become a donor today, y'all. Thank you so much for listening. I appreciate you. I appreciate your time. I'm now going to open this up to questions and answers. Thank you. Any questions?